As we begin, I'd like to introduce our executive director. After many years serving in pastoral ministry, he and his wife Amy came to Hope Life in October of 2023. He's a real family man as he and Amy parent 4 children of their own. Please give a warm Wausau welcome to our executive director of Hope Life Center, Justin Nowitzki.
Well, good evening. It's so good to see a full room. As I walked around, I found myself repeatedly saying, I get to stand up here and now up here on the stage and just see a full room of people that support this cause. It's humbling. It's encouraging. This work is hard at times. It can feel lonely. It can feel like there are attacks coming on all different sides. But when you look over this room and you see all these people, it's just an incredible feeling. So thanks for being here. The first thing that I want to do is I want to take a moment to just honor the life of Reverend Larry J. Tenhaken. If you don't know Reverend Larry J. Tenhaken, he passed away just recently, but he was instrumental in the founding of this organization. And so for a little more than 20 years ago, he was part of putting together a board and bringing this organization to life. And so our hearts and our prayers go with his family. There was a celebration of life for him this weekend, and I think some people that are here may have been a part of it. So just wanted to take a moment to just honor the life of a faithful man that we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for his work in ministry. Now, I don't want to just tell you a little bit about just the need for the work that we do. Give you a few statistics. I'm kind of a stats guy. So, from the Charlotte Lozier Institute, surveys of abortion facilities indicate that over 1 million abortions take place in the United States in 2023. From Worldometers in the USA, there are nearly 30% of pregnancies are unintended, and 40% of those are terminated by abortion. That's between 1,500 to 2,500 abortions per day. Nearly 20% of all pregnancies then in the USA, including miscarriages, end in abortion. Nearly 20% of all the pregnancies that are recorded end up being in an abortion, and 95.9% of those abortions are performed for elective or unspecified reasons on healthy mothers and babies. So while there's often a lot of chatter about, well, what about the rape situations and what about the concern about special needs children or health concerns for the mother and baby, 95.9% of these are coming just from pure choice. And so we're always talking about that small amount, and you're going to hear a pretty incredible story from our keynote speaker later of being in that small percentage. Women whose first pregnancy ends in abortion are 3.4 times more likely to experience an increase in outpatient mental health treatment compared to those who had live birth. And a number of women that have had abortions and need care and support. So in Wisconsin here, using public data from the CDC and Census Bureau, based on our service area, there's an estimated 124 unintended pregnancies a month, and an estimated 39 women will choose to have a documented abortion. And last fall, when we had our banquet, I spoke to you a bit about the rise of chemical abortions. They account right now for 63% of the abortions. So there's been a massive shift from surgical abortion to chemical abortion over the last 10 years or so. And 63% of those happen through drugs that are given often through the mail and are taken in 2 doses. And these drug-induced abortions have a complication rate 4 times higher than that of surgical abortions. As many as 1 in 5 women will suffer a complication. So it gives you a little bit of a feel of what we're up against and the ever increasing need for our organization. Now, what are we doing? We're all here tonight because we have a passion to help women and men facing unexpected pregnancies choose life and have an opportunity to hear the gospel and God's law for them. And we serve in different roles in different ways. I want to take a moment to honor and recognize our Hope Life staff and volunteers. If you're part of our Hope Life staff or volunteer team, would you just stand for a moment? These guys are the ones that are on the front line. Come on, don't be shy. Stand up. I'd like to ask our board of directors to stand as well, too. So we're doing this if you're with the crew. These are the men and the women serving on the front lines, serving men and women from Wausau and surrounding communities. Churches, we recognize churches who inform the men and women in their congregations of the biblical mandate to stand up for the vulnerable, and particularly those unable to defend themselves. I'm particularly pleased that tonight we have about 13 churches that have sponsored a table, and as far as I can look back over the last few years, that's the most that we've had in any one banquet evening. And I think we've got a special message for you tonight in our client testimony and some things that Christina from our abortion recovery specialist is going to share with you. And then donors, the majority of you here tonight are faithful donors who make this life-saving work possible. It's your gifts and financial support that make this life-saving possible. Hope Life Center boasts 564 individual donors, 29 businesses, and 60 churches who provide financial support. And more than 150 of these individuals, businesses, and churches supporting the work of Hope Life Center are in a group that we call the Champions of Hope. Champions of Hope are ongoing, perhaps monthly or quarterly donors that are helping transform lives every single month. We had more than 8 new Champions of Hope following our last banquet in October, and I'm confident we can double that number today. So very grateful for those that are giving ongoing. A few things to report on that happened over this last year. A big thing that we were working through, I've been in this role now for a year and a half. I spent most of my first year in this position relocating the organization as we moved from our place behind Applebee's over to 330 Grand Avenue. And the new building that we renovated and relocated to next to the Community Partners Campus, we did that in order to increase our visibility, to be in close proximity to other cost-free services in the community. We chose not to launch a widespread capital campaign, but this project was made 100% possible because of the following foundations and families. So the Raven Marie Goldbach Foundation, Judd Alexander Foundation, Choose Life Wisconsin, and the Schutte family were all very instrumental in helping us to do those renovations. I have a few pictures. Yes, please. Keep. We have a few pictures of the new building. We had hoped to do an open house back in January, but unfortunately picked the coldest day of the year, and a lot of things were closed, including our own center. So we will reschedule that for July. I hear that the snow should stop by then, and hopefully there will be no tornado warnings or anything of that sort. I think I let the staff pick this date, or we're still working on it, but I won't pick this date because I have bad luck. So I'll make sure that they pick that, and we'll be free of any natural disasters that day. So here's a couple of pictures of our building. You can see the exterior there. So with the new space, that's our entry area. We were able to do 3 different suites. So we have our clinic side, we have an administrative side with a conference room in it. We have two areas now for intake and client counseling, and then we have future expansion opportunity in another suite for a men's program. So I want to share with you the way your donations made a real impact for women, men, and their underborn children in 2024 and into 2025. Tell you about Amanda. Amanda came to us for a pregnancy test and STD test. She stated she had a friends with benefits relationship with a guy, but she takes the morning after pill every time they are together. However, on this day that she came to our center, she had doubts about the effectiveness of that pill and thought she might be pregnant, and was also worried about possibly having an STD since this relationship was not an exclusive one. Amanda had a positive pregnancy test and an ultrasound at Hope where she was able to see her baby's heart beating. I want you to know Amanda is one of 92 clients you helped serve in 2024 through a total of 179 visits. 66% of those clients, like Amanda, were single. 46% of them were age 20 to 29, 43% age 30 and up, 11% under 19. I want to just point out one of those statistics. 43% of them are 30 and up. I think that's a number that is increasingly climbing as we see that people even in marital relationships are facing an unexpected pregnancy and considering abortion. Amanda felt very alone in her situation because the father of the baby told her the pregnancy was her problem and she had nowhere to turn. She came to us pondering abortion and fearful about repeating the pattern of her family by having a baby at such a young age. Our staff and our client advocates were able to help her to understand the heartache of having an abortion educate her on what taking the morning after pill regularly can do to her body. And most of all, we're able to talk to her about God's love and plan for her and her baby. Amanda decided to carry her baby and gain the support that she needs to do so. Amanda represents 33 women you helped by providing education and material support, including the provision of 120 packs of diapers, 100 wipes, 75 baby outfits, and 6 car seats. We also were able to help a number of Hispanic clients this year. We brought on a Spanish interpreter and served 9 Hispanic clients. And so far in 2025, we have already seen 6 Hispanic clients. So we know that this is going to be a big year for that as well. The impact that is felt for eternity is maybe one of the greatest things that we could experience in the work that we do at the center. 4 women last year either professed faith in Jesus for the first time or made a recommitment to their faith. Amen. And as we move into 2025 and beyond, last year, as I said, we focused on increasing our visibility and awareness to reach more women and men. And we hope our new location and these marketing techniques that we've applied will lead to more clients. We have good reason to believe that they will. We've already seen 68 pregnancy tests in the first 3 months of the year. That represents a 90% increase over the same period of time last year. In addition to medical-grade pregnancy tests, ultrasounds are crucial for monitoring fetal development and detecting potential issues, and they are instrumental to introducing women to the life inside of them. Statistics tell us that about 90% of women who see an ultrasound and hear the baby's heart will change their mind and carry their baby to term. And so we've got a great lengths to make sure that we have ultrasound training for our nurses. We've been very blessed to have one dedicated ultrasound tech, but she's been operating in a limited role, and even in that limited role, she has taken 2 nurses under her wing to help them to scan models that we have come in. They've been able to do, I think, 20 plus ultrasound models to get that experience. And then tomorrow morning, they will be going, along with our director of operations, to Birmingham, Alabama. So Stephen then has come from Alabama. We're going to send a few people back his way to the Heartbeat International Conference, where they will be spending the week continuing their ultrasound training. This is a cost to us of about $6,000 to $8,000 to go through this ultrasound training. It's something that we've built into our budget this year, and something that I hope that you will consider as we get to the giving portion of our evening here as well. We're also looking at the possibility of replacing our ultrasound machine sometime this year as well. We've got a community event coming up. It'll be our 2nd annual Hope on the Bluff on Thursday, June 5th. We are working together with the Hagar House this year to bring a free family-friendly event to bless the community, as well as to bring awareness to the services of our 2 organizations. It's going to feature a concert with our friends Awaken and from Christ Community Church. We were so blessed to have them with us last year as well. And then Tarian is a former vocalist for Toby Mac. Maybe you've heard of him. And recently nominated for the GMA Dove Awards New Artist of the Year in 2024. We're going to have food trucks, children's activities, including face painting and oversized yard games. We see this as a summer block party. It's going to be taking place on the last day of school for the Wausau School District. 2 ways you can help as you think about it. One, we're looking for business sponsors for this event. So there's some information out in the back if you think you might want to help us sponsor this event and get your business name out there for the community. And we're going to be doing a diaper drive. We have a partnership with a company called Every Life Diapers. We introduced them to you at last year's banquet. And we are trying to raise funds for 63 families between our organization and the Hagar House to have a month's supply of diapers. So for a $50 contribution, we can get 6 packs of diapers and 4 packs of wipes for a family. And they can be customized specifically for the size that we need and such. Why do we partner with Every Life? Every Life believes every child is a gift from above and deserves to be protected and celebrated. And unlike most major diaper companies either vocally or financially support abortion, surprisingly, which is why Every Life was founded in the first place, to do something different, to do something to fight for life. You can also support Hope Life Center when you purchase diapers for your own children or grandchildren using our unique code to get 10% off for yourself, and then a 10% commission goes back to our center as well. So all that information is on the back table. I encourage you to check that out as you leave. Finally, some things that we continue to develop are to raise more church and community awareness. We want to develop and implement more programs to encourage and equip the church to disciple women and men considering abortion. And we are continuing to look at the way that we can provide sexual risk avoidance instruction in our public schools. Earlier this year, myself and one of our nurses got to go to Merrill High School and teach a number of rambunctious 6th and 7th grade girls about healthy relationships and boundaries. Just need to get to interact with them and talk to them about these very important things. And a men's program that we want to continue to develop. Men, fathers are impacted by abortion too. I read this week a Danish study reported fathers of babies aborted at 13 weeks or later were 4 times more likely to receive non-pharmaceutical psychiatric treatments, 60% more likely to have contact with a psychiatric hospital. We want to work with men to affirm their fatherhood, offer insights into the realities of their children's lives, empower them to communicate their perspectives on the pregnancies, and advocate for their presence and involvement, provide them with practical tools or relational encouragement for becoming great dads, and finally provide them with a robust community of fathers. If you are a male in this room and you're looking to get involved in something like that, that's where it starts, is to find some men that are passionate about this work. We'll meet together and we'll talk through what that can look like. Look at what kind of availability you have will help us to determine what programming is gonna work out best, and we'll have you complete a volunteer application. So you can find that information in the back afterwards as well. And finally, we want to continue our abortion recovery efforts. This is something we do 2 retreats a year. There are other states even that have reached out to us that want to start a deeper still abortion recovery retreat in their area, and we are happy to provide the resources that we have and to encourage them and be a part of that any way that we can. And we are already filling up these 2 retreats. What can that mean for the future? Could there be more retreats a year? Sky's the limit. There is no shortage of individuals that are facing shame from the abortions that they've had in the past, and sometimes that's decades later, but they're still dealing with it today, and we recognize that. I want to help them. I want to show you a video, and then I'm going to introduce you to our abortion recovery director.
$65 million.
That's how many abortions have happened in the United States.
Each one left a ripple. A mother.
A father.
And the silent weight that follows. They walk past you.
They sit beside you.
They live with regret,
Shame. Grief.
1 in 3 women will have had an abortion by the time they're 45.
Who are they?
They're your neighbors,
Your friends.
Your co-workers.
They're here. In your church.
70% of women who've had an abortion identify as Christian.
35% attend a local church week after week.
And yet, more than half believe the church isn't ready to help in unexpected pregnancies.
When they needed grace, they felt judgment, condemnation.
many stay silent and carry this weight alone.
So what will we do? It feels overwhelming.
But the truth is, you could be the link.
The difference between someone just surviving and truly healing.
Healing that comes through the grace of Jesus Christ.
The one who heals our deepest guilt and shame.
Through our abortion recovery program, we've seen it happen. and know that healing is made possible in every single story.
Our God is stronger than the enemy, stronger than our past, and able to win the battle ahead.
We call on you to join with us to bring a full wave of lives changed,
Forgiveness realized,
Peace restored.
Not just redemption, abundant redemption.
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 As it said in that video, all of those participants that you see in the video have gone through the Deeper Still program, have found that abundant redemption. And I can tell you that as I've seen different clients give testimonies, it's a whole another step in their process to be able to come and do a video like that, and to put a name together with a face, and to tell their story out loud. And so just really thankful for those participants in that video. I want to introduce you to Christina Wilson. She is deeply passionate about the abortion recovery programs that I do offer at Hope Life Center, and let her tell you more about her.
Justin. I love our verse this year. I love them all every year. God's word is so good. But, O Israel, hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is mercy, and with him is abundant redemption. What burns in me is this, that everybody that's hiding inside the church would be healed from their sin, whatever it is, that they might serve our Lord and serve his people, so that those that are hiding outside the church could come in. That's what I want. Now, my little focus is abortion recovery. And we know from the 65 million people that have been lost to abortion that there's a mom and a dad for each one of them. Since 1973, those are only the reported numbers that we can know about. And so we know that those moms and those dads come to regret those decisions, and deeply so. And yet they've had nowhere to go. They didn't feel like they could talk about that. And I know that certainly from my own personal experience. I knew the Lord. I loved him. I knew I was forgiven intellectually for those abortions, but I needed healing. And that's what we find is happening, in the church. And so I have spoken in a lot of churches, and with the exception of one or two, without fail, people have come to me afterward to talk. So we know they're out there, and we know that they need help. And we know that when the enemy's fingers are pried away from our throat, we get our voice back and we're able to share our experiences. And when you can share what God has done for you, then you can begin to share with people in need who are scared and don't know what to do. And this is how we can see abortion end in our lifetime. So I want to share a couple things with you about our abortion recovery program. We've done it for many, many years. It's just in the last few years that we converted to a retreat model. And in the last year, so in 2024, we saw a quarter as many people as we did all the years before. And if we look at 2021 through 2024, we've seen half the people that we've seen for abortion recovery were in that short time frame. So what's happening is a couple things. One, it is becoming a little bit easier to talk about, and so people will come forward, and they're being received in a way that's helpful. The second thing that's happening is with the advent and implementation of the abortion pill, it is a lot harder to deny what has happened, because what's going on is going on in your home, and it's very difficult to deny an abortion that happened in your home where you were present. You saw what happened. And so what we see in our abortion recovery retreats is a range of ages, anywhere from 20s. Our most recent retreat just a few weeks ago, the oldest person there was 69 years old. And it was such a beautiful thing to see in both cases how God works in a very quick way when we let him. And that's what we talk about as a chapter of Deeper Still, which is based in Knoxville. As Justin mentioned, we host those retreats. And so it's amazing because we start midday, late afternoon, on Friday, and we run through midday on Sunday. And in those 48 hours, it is incredible because you can imagine that people come in very downcast. That they arrived at all is a miracle. It's a very hard thing to do, first to register and then to actually show up. And so to see them leave is glorious. Take them through a very detailed and scaled type of sessions that are healing sessions that go on over the weekend that include very early on the message of the gospel. Deeper Still is biblically based. We believe that Jesus Christ is the only healer that provides us not only with salvation, but that very sweet healing that only he can do. So we're all in for that. I want to share a couple of testimonies with you from folks. I have to get this down. I can't read it. It's too tall. I want to start with just a couple of sentences from a male participant, and I'll explain why this one is so special. He said, "It was more helpful than I could imagine. I was afraid of no healing and found the hurt in places I didn't know I had." He shares publicly, and he's our male team leader. His name is Michael. Michael and his wife today she birthed their fifth child, a little boy, after 4 little girls. And so just to have that happen today is just really special. And what Michael says in his story, which I don't tell his whole story, obviously, but part of his public testimony is the fact that when those other first 3 babies were born, he had the joy of these new lives, but he uses the word haunted. He was haunted by his abortion and his participation in that act. After his retreat, when that next baby came along, baby number 4, he describes it as feeling nothing but joy. I mean, that is what our God does. It's abundant redemption. It's not just survive your life. It's live the abundant life that Christ died to give us. And so it is a privilege and an honor to be a part of a ministry like that because we are the hands and feet of Jesus to the participants that come to these retreats. I think I can bend down. It's the walking. Thanks, Pastor. Another one I wanted to share. It was overwhelmingly freeing. What felt to me was a lifetime of bad and hiding the awful person I really was turned into a lifetime of victimization. And then I understood that I'm a child of God, loved and forgiven. I came in very stressed and standoffish, but the rooms were fantastic and homey. The team was loving and caring. I felt supported, and I felt I could entrust my child and my story with those around me. One of the things that we want to make you aware of about how you can help, because those numbers, when you think about 65 million, I did some math, I'll spare you, but when you consider that 70% over time of those 130 million parents are in church, weekly, 35% say they go weekly. They're the walking wounded. They're not talking about it. They're not telling anyone. They need our help. They're like I was, loving, serving God, but not healed. And so much more can happen once a person becomes healed. So what do you do? What do you do as an individual when you consider that volume of people? I promise you, they're in your churches. We are hiding in plain sight. And we have done so for decades. If you're a church, one of the things that you can do, we're going to ask you to consider running notices regularly, as often as weekly. We're going to email those out in the next week or two because you know how it is, advertising or anything else. You need to see it a few times before you go, oh. And what happens is the Lord will work through that. And that is something you can do so that we can help your folks in the church get the healing they need so they can serve God more freely. We're going to host on May 20th a pastors and ministry leaders breakfast or brunch from 9:30 to 11. And we would love to share more with you about the ministry of Deeper Still and how it has benefited a local congregation. We'll have one of the pastors who knows how that has been such a benefit will be with us to share. We'll send that invite out, email invite within the next week. Now, if you're an individual, you can volunteer. Whether you've had an abortion or not, we can use you. One of the things that people find very satisfying is this is a high-impact ministry. When you serve in this ministry, you see God work. And that is very exciting and a privilege to be a part of. So I want to invite you to consider that. If you feel that tug, kind of just that gentle pull, you don't know what to do with that feeling, you come and see us, and we will tell you how we can handle that. We'll be at the back table. And in fact, there's a number of volunteers here. I don't know, I didn't notice because I'm short. I couldn't tell if they stood up or not. But there's a number of them here, and they will tell you how they feel about serving. We had 19 people serve at our spring retreat, 9 participants. We like a ratio of a couple team members per person that's attending the retreat. And so we invite you to consider that. It is time well spent in the kingdom of God. I promise you that. You can pray. We have a prayer list, not only for the center, but specifically for Deeper Still, because this is an area of spiritual warfare, and we need prayer. It is foundational to the work that we do, that God leads us to, and that's how the chapter work here began, was with the prayer team. Consider, this one is the one that's a little bit tricky. So love y'all, but consider how you interact with other people when you talk about abortion. Remembering that there are, since the 70s, 130 million plus parents who are missing children lost to abortion, what you say can hurt or hinder, or it can help. And we have some ideas for you. So at the table in the back, we have a tips sheet, so how you can help somebody that might disclose their abortion to you. Because it is tricky. If you've not been involved in it or don't know anything about it, what do you say? How do you refer someone? How do you help them know that it's okay? There's a way through. So we have some tips for you on a sheet at the table outside. And with that sheet, there's a little QR code so you could easily access that in the future as well. You can financially support the work. I've had some questions recently about the cost. Considering that we like that 2-to-1 ratio, it costs about $822 to get a participant through the retreat. So it's about $274 a person to attend a retreat. And then lastly, I want to close with this. If you have an abortion in your past, and I know I've been doing this work since 2009, and in a room this size, it's not just me. It's not just the team members you saw in the video. There are others. Attend a life-changing retreat. You will be glad that you did. And we serve men and women. The next retreat is coming up September 5th through the 7th. That's the weekend after the holiday in September. And the last thing I'll say is I want to strongly encourage you to remember this. Because of Christ, there is hope no matter what. Thank you.